I'm starting now. Okay, so we just need to wait a couple of seconds for I can't find my thing. For Facebook to catch up with us. Dave's trying to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so it looks like it's on Facebook.
No comments.
That's okay, because there may not be comments here. I've got questions. And what he's going to do now, I think. So hello, anyone who can see us at the moment. We're just waiting for people to join in. And my person behind the curtain over there, which you've got to ignore, is going to be adding a link to the actual event page, and he's going to give me a thumbs up when that happens. And the sound's okay?
Yep.
Dave? Yes. Yep. So we have sounds. That's good. So he's going to give me a hoy when the link's up, and now I've got to find you again. It's too many. Ah, there you are. Okay, how do I do that? And it's always the bit at the beginning that's the lag, isn't it? Waiting for everything to happen.
This is sort of like the ones you see on normally. You go on Facebook, and it's been the first 5 minutes. Like, I wonder if they can hear us. I don't know. Can anyone hear us? They might be able to hear us.
I can't. Can you hear me? Well, we had a bit of a hitch this morning because the microphone thing wasn't working. So are we ready to go now, person behind the curtain? Yes, I believe we're ready to go now. Now I've got to find you again, where you are. Okay. Right. So good morning, everyone. Yay, finally we're here. We're just waiting for technology to catch up, and I've got the thumbs up, checking the sound, so hopefully everyone can hear us. And if you've got any questions, in the comments section, start it with a question mark, because that way, if we happen to have a deluge of comments, we can tell it's a question at the beginning. This part's the launch. This part of the launch is dedicated to music, so it's all about the latest song, Spanish Flu. And I want to welcome Richard Ryall of the Littmus Steampunk Band. There you go. I think he's that side.
Yes,
Richard composed. Yeah, Richard composed the music for both Spanish Flu and the Gadgeteer. So good morning, Richard.
There you go.
Okay, Richard, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, what can I say that hasn't been said by other people? It should have a bit more respect. I am just a person who wanders around writing songs, trying to annoy as many people as I can, and quite frankly, I'm doing a very good job about it. That's really all.
Bit cheeky this morning.
Yeah,
tell us.
Brilliant.
What time is it up there?
COVID. What?
Sorry?
That's right. I shouldn't talk about it.
Because you have to remember, I'm a little bit deaf too, so which makes it fun. So tell us, how did the Littmus Steampunk Band start?
Well, the Littmus Steampunk Band started about, I think about 5 years ago. Because originally I didn't start getting into music till I was in my mid-40s. And I became an Irish band because I thought, that's got to be rather easy. Most Irish music's got 3 chords, and occasionally they slip the 4th chord. So I thought I could do that, and then from there I got bored, and then I thought I'll start writing songs. And then, of course, once you start writing songs, you lose your gigs because no one ever wants to just hear covers. So then, when I was writing songs, we were just called Littmus by itself, not knowing there was such a thing as steampunk, because all my songs had that in the mind about something like that. And then when I discovered it, we became the Littmus Steampunk Band, and of course, all the last 9 albums have been steampunk albums.
Sorry, I just lost my ear thing there. So steampunk albums is what I heard last. Yes, my earphone came out.
It's just like
I'm having to use an earphone so I don't get feedback, and it's the first time I've used an earphone, so it's real fun. Not.
Use it too, it won't fall out.
So my introduction to Richard was when he first asked if I'd be interested in listening to some steampunk, Aussie steampunk music. Yay! There we go. And maybe do a little review on my blog, which I did. And later he asked if I'd like to write some lyrics based on my books, and we corresponded on and off, and I came up with the Gadgeteer. And finally, we met in person in a totally other country. So Richard's from Townsville in Queensland. I'm living in Adelaide now, and we actually met in New Zealand for the Oamaru Steampunk Festival. So as you've heard, Richard has mentioned steampunk, and probably most of you know that I do steampunk and have for probably, trying to work it out now, well over 13 years. I think it's getting closer to 14 or 15 years now. So what drew you into steampunk originally, Richard?
Well, see, it's like, as I said, when I wrote songs before, I always had these things in the back of my mind, like Edwardian, Victorian times. And that's what would go in my, even though they were sort of contemporary songs, that was in the back of my mind all the time. So I sort of like knew there was something I wanted, but I didn't know what it was. I can't remember what it was, how I came across it, what I first saw, but something popped up on the internet. Thanks very much, internet. And that's what set me off. And then I started going from whatever it was I saw to other things and found out this whole subgenre of people get dressed up in nice clothes and they get to look posh. Of course, in Townsville, where like currently it's 35 degrees, it is totally impractical to get dressed like this, but hello. That's
yes,
just what
what are we now? What are we here now? What's the temperature here now, Dave?
Hello, Lynn, and hello, Sharon.
Oh, hello, Lynn. Hello, Sharon. Sharon,
do you want to become special friends or just ordinary friends?
Sorry, he's a bit obnoxious today. Yeah, I had been doing costuming and reading books and stuff like that for ages, and then suddenly we saw, I think it was a movie or something, and I went, oh, what's this? This is what we've been doing for ages. And then we found out later that it was steampunk. So I think it's a lot like a lot of people seem to do the stuff and are interested in the stuff and then find out that steampunk's a thing. And I love the costumes and stuff, and I love the aesthetic of it. And of course now I write steampunk a lot because I just love the art meets science, and you know, it's just fun. But I stay a lot for the community as well, because I talk to people all over the world, and they're just generally lovely people. So what keeps you coming and back to steampunk, keeps you doing steampunk music? What makes you stay?
I just like, because there's always something different. You know, like you got people that do all this really cool jewellery and craft stuff, which I wish I could do that. That's just absolutely brilliant. And like, it just amazes me how people can get little things and they make little twisty bits and put that on there. And it's like jewellery or like a really good sculpture and stuff. It just absolutely knocks me out. And the fact is that you can have paintings, you have books, you have music, sculptures, anything, you know, anything covers steampunk. Though being, of course, in Townsville, a lot of people, as soon as they see the word punk on the end of it, they think, oh, I'm going to have a mug that's going to be bright green and I'm going to go around and gob on people.
Well, that's 1970s punk, really, isn't it? Lynn says, we're steampunk friends on Steampunk Sunday on Queensland, on Steampunk Sunday Queensland on Facebook. I met Lynn through writing as well. She's one of the in a writer's race, and we do steampunk stuff, and she writes steampunk as well, don't you, Lynn? I think I don't know whether people can, yeah, I'm not sure how this commenting thing works. So yes, that's Lynn Lums the Green People. She's writing books as well, so go and check her out as well.
I will. I'll go straight to the Facebook page afterwards and have a check out.
Oh, she posts a lot of steampunk pictures and stuff as well. Oh, got tea. What's my tea today? I think my tea today is Prince of Wales. There you go, in my T2 cup there. Okay. Right. So in writing a story, there's different ways to approach it. You can plan it like a plotter, or you can just write it by the seat of your pants, and that's called a pantser in the writing world. I usually have about 3 or 4 key points and a vague idea of how I want the story to end, but I do a lot of research beforehand and as I go. I found writing lyrics a lot harder than writing books, actually, or even flash fiction. The process is different, And I not only have to edit down to minimum words, but I have to actually make them rhyme as well. So for me, writing lyrics, I find a lot harder than writing prose and books. So what's your process for writing songs, and what comes first, the lyrics or the music, or do you, which do you prefer writing?
Well, it's really weird because, like, everyone says, oh, you know, I like to do the words first. I think Billy Joel, and I think even Bee Gees did it. They just put the music first and make up words, and then they do the words afterwards. But I do it both ways. So sometimes I'll have a little tune like something like, and then, but while I'm doing it, suddenly a chorus will come into my head. So then that becomes the title, and then I just write words that fix around it, and then start changing the chords around to make it sound a bit nicer. But it's sort of like, there was the song I did with the old Steampunks Never Die with Stephen C. Davis over in England. He supplied the words for that, for example, because I had the chorus and I had the tune and everything, and I was just quite frankly too lazy to put the rest of the words in. So I asked him, who would like words? And Stephen says, look, I've got these words about one of these steampunk ladies in England who passed away recently, and so it was made about her. And then there was another one which Kylie in the Steampunk Vagabonds in in Wollongong, she had a poem called the Siren Song, which she used to do before they did their dancing, and then they do a little dance and that thing. And we've always been trying to get down there so that we could team up with them and do like songs, and they could dance and mix it together. But anyway, she sent me up the poem, and I just found it really easy. Sometimes just like, you think, oh, I know exactly how it's going to go, and away you go, and off it comes out straight away. And then of course there's your two you've done, the Gadgeteer. That was quite easy. So what I do is, like, when you send me your words, I'll look through and scan and think, okay, well, those couple of words aren't going to fit in there, so I'll take those words out. I might mix around here, or I might change a line or two here and there. But it's basically so it's like that Spanish flu. There was another verse in there which we took out because it got too long, and so I shortened it down to a nice tighter song.
Because it depends on whether you're doing a bit of a musical section or whether you're doing repeating on whether you need the extra verse, doesn't it?
Yes, I do have a tendency to make my songs rather long. Just recently, I have been trying very hard to make them 3 minutes. But as they are Steam songs, it's not like it's ever going to get played on the radio, the normal radio. I get played on the community radio in England.
I don't know. We tend to have longer songs. I mean, look at the ones that they did for the Albion musical. Some of those songs were quite long.
I've got a lot to say. Yeah, the last album, the Standing Rock one, the first song on it, The Commerce of Albion, I think it goes for about 7 minutes. But there was also a song on I think it was the Welcome one, which originally had was just over 10 minutes. So I had to cut that right back. I think I cut it back to about 6 and just chop it. But there is a 10-minute version. Okay. Hello?
Can you get me the CD? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah, sorry. I was just asking to pass over the CD. So we've got here, Lynn says she's just had a steampunk story put in Antipodean SF. Yay!
Okay.
Yeah, it's a anthology thing. So yeah. Okay, right.
Well done, Lee. Send me up some words and I'll make a song.
Yeah, you keep telling me, was it 8 more songs or 10 more songs and I've got an album?
Yeah, you've got 2 so far. You need to usually want about 10. When I do my CDs and albums, I always work on time. So I always work 45 and 50 minutes. So that's how many songs go on between that time.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so then I was looking at the actual instruments because I noticed in Spanish Flu there's a train and there's a few other things in there. I can sort of play the recorder, sort of. I was actually in the school band, so once upon a time I checked who could play it quite well. What instruments do you play?
Well, I do this in the band. I'm a crap, basically guitar player. It's just that someone has to do it, and it's basically me. I like singing and writing songs. And I can play keyboards as in recording. See if you look, you can see that. There's a little keyboard play. Yeah? Yep. So I use that, but when you're playing recording keyboards, you can go, right, here's all the bass notes, here's all the high notes, here's a little thingy in the middle here, and then you can just do it up. So it's really easier doing it that way. But playing it live, forget about it. I just stick to
And what instruments and audio other than the train was used on Spanish Flu?
Instruments and audio? What?
So you had the train sound on
Yes.
Spanish Flu, and
Yes,
what other instruments was on?
There was the piano, just the guitar, my vocal, drums. I think that's all it was. I don't know. I think I did some. Did I do some backing vocals on it? I can't remember now. Because that last, everything on that last album is just me. None of the band were on it.
Yeah. So this is the last one, everyone.
That's the
There
one.
you go. That's it. The standing cog, and it's got a little frill-neck lizard down the corner. I don't know whether you can see that.
Ooh.
And inside there's a wombat, isn't there?
That's on the back.
On the back there's a wombat. When it arrives in the post, unfortunately, the little things get broken. Stupid post. Anyway, and there's mine there, Spanish Flu. Yay! So that's that one there. I was going to ask also what's your favourite instrument, but you've said the guitar, so that answered that question. So there you go.
Synthesizers and fake, you can make all sorts of noises with it, but yeah. But yeah, the guitar, I just have to do the guitar because at the moment we have me on guitar, there's Keith on bass, Tony on congas and percussion, and then we have Chris on the drums. But and then young Sharani, she just does the backing vocals, and occasionally the kazoo, she remembers it because she tucks it in the bra, and after time I say, "It's a kazoo solo," and she's, oh. So usually it's kazoo solo.
Okay. So I can see you're recording your home studio in the background. So what is the actual recording process? Because I haven't done music.
Yeah, so what I do in the first place is I put some drums on. So I get sample drums, which is like a click track, and I just have a same basic pattern to work out what the timing I want it in. Because I've written a song. It's occasionally I'll write a song on the computer, but I usually have the song written first up. You know, I do things like this, with I type more like that and things.
Yep.
So I've got a folder right here with which is folded here, which is for the songs that's starting for the next album. So I get that down, and then I do the guitar straight after that to match in with the drum, which the timing's just right, and then I'll go and do the vocals, which is in this little Rode microphone right up the back there.
Yep. I hear Rode's good.
Yes. It's a really nice one. What's his name over? Julia. What she call herself again? I forgot. Alice's Night Circus. I think she's called herself Alice Strange.
Oh, yes. Alice Strange. She's calling herself now. Yeah.
Talking to her, the microphone she uses, she has this nice little Aston, which I would love to get, but it's my wife won't let me have one.
That's okay. Lots of things I'd want, but it's like, yeah. So Alice's Night Circus is now Alice Strange, and I've got some of her stuff too. So
yeah, she's a lovely lady. She's clever, very good with the. She just did lovely. Clothes. Yeah. So once that's done, that's the basic part of the song down. Then I'll start thinking, okay, what do I want to do? Some more bass, or do I need bass? Do I want say violin? In which case I've got a friend called Sue. I'll just get Sue to come around and say, right, bring your violin. This is what you want. And I'll say, go da 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 da, or whatever it is I've got in my mind, and she can work it out. Yeah. And then
I thought I'd heard violin in some of your stuff, and when you said you didn't play violin, I'm going, who does the violin?
Yeah, Susan Zeeley, she's a lovely lady. She just had a baby.
Yay.
Cool. Now, then Jason, who just lives up the road, he plays in the council brass band, so I get him. If you have any brass on it, that's usually him. He plays flugelhorn or trumpets. And then I have another bloke called Clive that I got come in on one of the albums who played the clarinet. And then sometimes I'll get somebody else to come in and play bass if I need some extra fancy bass bits or whatever.
Cool. Excellent. So there's a lot of stuff.
So if any claiming the doll, Mr. Simpson, paying him to come and do it, I hope they're claiming that.
Well, that's not your fault if they're not actually claiming it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I've just hang on. Got to wait for the 11 o'clock to chime on the. We've got a grandmother clock on the wall.
It's 11's, is it?
It's 11's. Time for 11's.
No, I've only got 10:18 on my clock.
Yeah, I know. Our clock actually runs 10 minutes early because it means if we're running 10 minutes late, we're actually on time. So our clocks are all 10 minutes ahead.
My daughter-in-law does that too.
Yeah, it helps a lot, actually. Okay, so many of us have been affected by lockdown. Yeah, we had to do the lockdown thing, especially those in the arts. I've found it much harder to get words actually on the page. How has lockdown affected you, and has your process differed during the lockdown?
Well, I've stopped eating bats for a start, because that's obviously with the bad we had some really good gigs lined up for this year. We're going to play at the Canberra, the National Folk Festival. We had your Adelaide
Steampunk Festival in Adelaide.
Yes, which I still haven't got all my money back from the airfares. I know.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Richard and the Littmus Steampunk Band were supposed to come down for the Adelaide Steampunk Festival, and he found out, was it a week or two before the event, that the airline, that starts with V, had cancelled his flights on him and had not told him. So
we decided we had to stay overnight at Brisbane at our expense, an extra day, and we had to be back at work, or some of the band had to be back at work.
Oh, no.
Day, so it buggered us up.
Yep.
And they won't give me the money back. They says, no, you can only have delay it to another day. So we delayed it to February.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, we can, hopefully by then I'll be able to get out of the house with my breathing, and so we can actually meet again for the second time in person. This time in the same country. Woo!
If you're not there, I'll just come around and burgle your house.
Oh, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. I can't afford that. Okay, right. So let's see what we got here. I've done that one. I actually had a list of questions here just in case I forgot what I was asking.
Ask me who my favourite Spice Girl is.
Who's your favourite Spice Girl?
None of them. I heard Spice Girl. Someone told me a Spice Girl joke the other day, or to do with Victoria. To do with Victoria.
Whether it's clean or not.
Yeah, it was a clean one.
Okay.
Oh no, I can't exactly remember where it goes. It's bagging before anyway.
So Richard and I were also planning on going to Lincoln Asylum this year, and of course that isn't going to happen and won't happen next year, because it sounds like the planes aren't going to be going to UK for at least another year. So probably 2022 at this stage.
I know. I had all that paid for as well. It cost me 20 grand. I've managed to get about 17,000 back.
We'd got our accommodation, and we were just literally about to do the fares when they said, then it all hit, and we went, we'll just hold off and just hold off. So we didn't. So we did actually get the money back. So the place we're going to stay at hopefully will be available next time. And I'm not going to tell people where it is, because we want it, because it's nice and close. And you don't want someone else to find out about it. But they gave us all the money back.
They might go broke by then. That's
well, it was one of those, it was an Airbnb thing. So I think it's somewhere they own anyway, and they just let it out.
So castles, did you?
It was it wasn't in a castle, but it wasn't far from the castle. It's like we could have walked in every day. It's like we were getting so excited because it was literally within 5 minutes walk of everything. It was great.
Because some of the castles are bees in England.
I know. We're also going to go up to Durham and visit my friend who's a professor up there, lecturer. And we were going to go to Edinburgh, and we were going to go and, anyway, it'll happen eventually. Okay, so we've got a few people chatting over here. Has anyone got any questions for me or for Richard? Or have they all gone? Hello, Sharon. Hello, Lynn.
Sharon and Lynn. I've been on touch. I don't know what's going to do.
Yeah, that's okay. I think they've gone to sleep. I think they're probably chatting amongst themselves there.
Oh, fair enough.
What other questions have I got here? So some of the questions I had, you've already answered during the chat. So, what are you working on now?
Okay, now the new one is going to be non-steampunk.
Okay.
So there's a steampunk one, there'll be a steampunk one, and there'll be a non-steampunk one, because I thought I'll just write some commercial songs which aren't steampunk related. But there's Sitting at the Bottom of the Sea, which is a steampunk one. song called Baggage, which is not a steampunk one. There's another one called...
Oh, they're still here, they say. Any questions, guys?
Oh, all right. I'm not asleep.
Sharon says she's not asleep.
Yeah, that's what they say when they're asleep. I'm not asleep.
Yeah, I suppose you have to do some commercial songs because otherwise you're not going to get any money to do the rest.
We don't get any money. We're not. No. We don't fit in with Australia much. Like most of our gigs are outside of towns, or we don't do much in there.
Yeah.
We don't fit in with everybody else, so that's okay. Up at like we just did last weekend, the Tablelands Folk Festival, and up there in Cairns, which is where it is always up there, they have a wider range of variety of different musical genres. So it's really good. It's much better up there.
So how far away is that?
It's only 3 hours. It's going up Adelaide. I think it took me about 4.5.
So we say only 3 hours, but someone like in Britain would be going 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, you get the top and bottom. Yeah, we do that like every probably second or third week. We do that, so we're always up there. So it's not like it's a hard thing for us. I can do it with my eyes closed. In fact, sometimes I do.
Oh, don't do that. Dave used to come down 5 hours from Whyalla to visit, and we used to do the 24-hour drive up to Brisbane regularly as well, because that's where my rallies are. So Lynn says she loves both of our hats. So this is my purple bowler with my, I don't know if you can see it, I've got a octopus on the side there. That's actually a squid. And what have you got in yours?
Well, that's just right there. See that little thing? I got this online. There was a lady in the Ukraine who was selling these for $50.
Wow.
I know.
I've got a purple one, but I had it made shorter because it was too tall for me. So yeah.
I think the hat I got from New Zealand, you know, that Grimthorpe and something place.
Yes. A friend of mine runs that. Grimstone and Trickle.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, that's where I got the hat from.
Hi, Kat. If you ever see this, hi, Kat. Hello, Kat Douglas. She's in Christchurch. Yes. I went I had to make sure I get that right.
When we were in New Zealand the other time, last time I popped in, had to say hello to her.
So
she was just around the corner because the shop looks really big online, and then when you go and you think, oh, it's not as big as I thought.
Oh, it's got lots of stuff though. Lots of stuff. Yes. I'd seen something online and I wanted to get it, and I got there and it had been sold like the day before. Okay, Sharon says she put a question on the event page earlier, but not about the music though. Sorry. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So, is there any questions anyone wants to ask? I think Kat moved to Wellington. Kat. She thinks Kat moved to Wellington. I thought she was just moving to somewhere else in Christchurch, so I'm going to have to find out about that. I have both your hats. Got a new hat for me. Oh, you've got, Sharon likes hats. She tends to wear trilbies more. She's got a green one and a red one.
I've got a black one like that, and I've got a specially handmade one which is made out of leather, which is a top hat with big brass goggles on them, and like heavy duty ones, made from a bloke in Victoria who was does them things. So it cost me something about $350 for this thing.
Yeah, but it'll last. I've got this one and a black bowler, and I've got the purple top hat which I got made into a coachman's hat, and I've got a black coachman's hat as well. And one day there's a guy down here called Blake, and he actually has Blakesby hats, and he's actually a hatter, and he wins prizes and stuff. So my ultimate goal is to one day get Blake to make me a hat, and he makes proper fur hats and everything. So I'm going to save up, and one day I'm going to get a hat specially made by Blake for me when I can afford it, but it's going to be really good because he makes lovely hats and it'll last forever. So,
well, if you go to YouTube and see our clip for the Say Goodbye to Steampunk, you'll see my big black leather hat on that one.
Yes, I think I've seen that, yes. So, yeah. Okay, so I think Lynn and Sharon are more chatting rather than actually asking questions. So that's probably, actually, I just saw it's 11 o'clock, so that's our half hour up anyway. So, yep, no other questions? Okay, so as I said before, Richard says just, what, 8 more songs and I've got an album. So it's going to take me a while, though, because I find it a lot harder to write the lyrics, although it's really cool when I get it back and it's got the music to it and I'm going, ah, it's exciting.
I've done 4 albums this year.
I know, you've been busy. Well, that's what changed during lockdown, is you've done a lot more albums, so that's pretty cool.
Yes. Well, we couldn't go because we weren't allowed to.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Okay, so let me get here. Okay, yeah, I think I've gone through all the questions I had. So I'm looking forward to our next collaboration. I'm thinking about it already. So it'll happen eventually. Do you want me to play some of the Spanish flu song?
Sorry? Do you want me to play some of the Spanish flu song?
Yeah, you can do that. Yep.
I don't know how it's going to go. You better cut me off. I don't know how long you've got left. Okay.
2, 1, 4, 1.
On the way to South Australia, no parade, no regalia, sign our life away for ages. Mother singing not contagious, it's covered. The Mexico is quite the fashion. Oh, sure, can't take your risk, don't share your judge. Not sure, that's it. It's Spanish Jubilee Oval, it's for you. Don't stick aside, like all of the face. At the Oval, beware the Spanish flu.
Yay! Thank you for that. I actually was doing research for my current book that I've got on the go, and they had they actually had a quarantine tent city in at the Oval here during 1999 and 1918, and they called it the Great Picnic. They had picnics and they had meetings and they had everything, and all the people who were in quarantine got new friends. But at the end of the quarantine, they just basically said, go on, goodbye, get lost. And so there was a lot of mental health issues with people, and I was actually reading about one guy who actually committed suicide, and that's actually what made me write that story. So the bit at the beginning is people, it was like now where they started shutting the border at South Australia. And so they actually had a train come from Victoria, and it was coming through just before they shut the border. and they actually had to have a piece of paper declaration saying that they weren't sick and that they would stay at the quarantine place and everything. It was actually quite prophetic in a way, considering I wrote this in February, which was pretty quite scary. So yeah, I know. And then when it all happened, I'm thinking, oh God, you haven't written the music yet. Oh shoot. So yeah. Okay. Sharon says her green hat's not a trilby, by the way. It's a different type of hat, too wide brimmed. And she's got a cloche. And Lynn says she's loving this. Thank you, Lynn. I actually really love the music that Richard puts to my songs. So, yay! It's really cool. And it was actually the acoustic. And the acoustic sounded good too. So like I said, I'm looking forward to doing some more, and it just takes me a while. I'll be posting this video on my YouTube channel later, and I'll probably put some links down the bottom there as well for Spanish flu and more information on Littmus Steampunk Band. So probably it's past 11 now, so we probably should get going and let you go and have your 11sies real soon. So thank you, Richard, for sharing us, chatting with us this morning. I actually enjoy our chat. You always make me smile, so that's good. And thank you for everyone for tuning in.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Lynn and Sharon, for talking to us, and anybody else that was listening as well.
Yeah. And if you've got more questions later, you can always put it down and we can answer. We can't actually physically type an answer here. We actually have to speak the answer. So I think later we can actually go back done and actually type answers as well. So thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Richard, and that's the end of...
Thank you, boys.
Okay, see you later. And this is the bit where we all go, how do we turn these off now? Okay, see you later, everyone.